So the next thing we're going to do, we're going to add milestones to our project. So milestones are great for showing progress, and they can be added anywhere at any time. So here we'll add a milestone for the inspection summary task. So we're going to select the lab setup task, which is task 9. So the tasks are also numbered numbered here on the left hand side column. So we're going to go to number 9, so lab setup. So in the task tab, we're going to go, you have to select this one. So click into the box like this. And then in the task tab, so go along to your task, click onto the insert section. Here we are there. And then click on milestone, which is the plus here with the grey box. So give this a click. And you see a new option then for milestone. The milestone shows up. So this adds a new row above the lab setup task and names it new milestone. So we can rename this lab ready for installation. So just click into the text. Replace it all, lab ready for installation, and then just hit enter. You can see by default actually the duration is set to 0 because the duration is set to 0 as it doesn't add anything to the overall time scale of the project. It's just a milestone, so it's kind of like a marker, so that we don't need to actually add any date. So and on the Gantt chart area, which we'll see later on, it's actually highlighted by a little black or dark grey diamond. So our milestone is going to be there. We'll set the date later on, we'll make it look a bit better. So we'll add another milestone. So we'll add a milestone for lab setup next. So we'll go to task 16. So this is lab setup. So we're going to have the milestone for this load of stuff here. So click on the tab 16, because if you click on the tab here and add a milestone, it'll add it to the one above it, which is actually in the lab setup. So click on tab 16 and then go to, again, task insert milestone. I'm going to rename this one lab ready for training. So again, just click into the text, replace it. So lab ready for training. Just hit enter. And the next thing we're going to do, we're going to add another milestone. So we're going to add a milestone in the certification summary task and call it ready for patients. So again, we know what this means. We're going to click in the last cell down here, click on milestone, and it's going to be called ready for patients. And then just hit enter. So now we have our 3 milestones. Hit that, there we go. And now just to remind you here now, I should have been saying this in the previous ones, in the previous tasks and everything we do, just make sure you save. I think once or twice when I've been working, an automatic dialog box comes up asking me do I want to save the project. So I've been clicking yes. So if that ever comes up asking did you want to save it, always agree and click save. Yep. But no harm just to click this little save icon up the top or press Ctrl S just to make sure we have everything. So now we have our milestones in there. So the next thing we have to do is just put them on the same level. So we saw earlier on we had to kind of indent or outdent some of the tasks. So we want to actually do the same thing with the milestones. So we want to outdent them to the correct level. So we're going to go to the lab ready for installation milestone, which was, here we are here. So just click into that cell. And we want to kind of put it on the same level as a summary task. As the inspection summary task, which you can see at the top here. So it's obviously the furthest one to the left. So again, click into the cell. In the task tab in the schedule, there's a little icon here, so it's a line with a green arrow pointing to the left, so that's the outdent. So just give that a click. Click it once, it'll go there, 2, and it should go all the way out. It's going a little bit slow. I think that's as far as it's going to go, is it? Can't go any further. That's perfectly fine, so good stuff. And we're going to do the same for the other milestones. So the next milestone was lab ready for training. So click into the task and then go up to the outdent. So send it all the way out to the end, to the far left. Yeah, okay, that's fine. And then the last milestone was ready for patients. So again, we're going to out that as well. And I'll just click it. Okay, just making sure. Okay, so now we have our milestones set to the same level as the summary tasks. So you can see now actually our project is actually getting quite detailed. We have lots of tasks, lots of summary tasks, we have a couple of milestones, and we have all our dates. So now it's starting to come together as a nice detailed project. You can see how complicated it's going to get, but it's actually, think it's been fairly straightforward so far. And again, after doing all this one, we said it just a second ago, but again, just say it 10 times every video now at this stage. So just always click the save icon, because we don't have to start doing this all over again. Not waste a half an hour of work. So the next thing we're going to do is actually going to put the tasks into a sequence. So tasks need to be performed in a sequence to work correctly. So the first 3 tasks will run from the finish of one to the start of another, and this dependency is called finish to start. So to link these 3 tasks, we're going to select the 3 of them. So this is from 1, 2, 3, and 4. So select it. So click into the number 2 here, and it's basically hold down your left mouse button, just drag down. So once you got them selected, we're going to go to the task tab, and then go over to the schedule, which is schedule section, which is here, and then click the little link icon, which you can see is here. So it's like a little chain. You can hover over it, it'll say here. So it says link to selected task. So if we give that a click, okay, so it creates a finish to start dependency. So you can see that the chart is adjusted to take account of these new linked tasks. The task ID of the predecessor is now automatically put into the predecessor cell. So you can see here. So now all of a sudden, instead of all the tasks being kind of on top of each other, which they have been, because we haven't set the dependencies, now we know that this task has to go. These tasks actually can't start till the previous ones go. So once lab review lab design is complete, then we can go on to the next one, purchase MRI, and then once that's done, we can go on to the receive equipment. And because at the moment we've actually only set the duration to 1 day each, you can see it's set in 1 day, 1 day, 1 day. So, again, it just starts to make the project start to graph to start to look like a proper Gantt chart. So we have our Gantt charts are going to be usually information going out this way. So now once we get these dependencies, and then we can start putting durations, it'll start to look a lot better. So you can just follow along. We're going to add a few more links now. So for example, we need to receive the equipment, which is task 4. So my computer's going a little bit slow. Okay, so we're going to select. So we need to receive the equipment before we can inspect it. Makes sense. So we're going to select task 4, and then hold down control on the keyboard. Select task 6, which is this one here. So make sure you don't get 5 as well. I'm just going to select task 4 and task 6. So click this one here, and then holding down key control button, click the 6. So once these 2 are selected, we're going to click the link. You can see the Gantt chart adjusts itself. Now we also have to purchase the MRI equipment before you can update the power. So again, logical sense. It's kind of where you have to kind of think about what the project's going to be and what you're going to do. So in this case, we want to link task 3 and task 7. So task 3 is purchase MRI, and then keep control on the keyboard. Click on task 7, which is to update power, and then go up to your little link icon and just link the 2 of them, and you'll see now it's starting to adjust and starting to link them all, which is what we want. And then we're going to do the same again for task 3 and 8. So I'm going to click on 8, which is purchase MRI, and then inspect radiation barriers. So obviously they're linked. So click the 2 of those, click a little link icon. And then finally we need to connect a few tasks to the milestone. So lab ready for installation, for example. So for this, here we go. Want to save your project? Yes, we do. So that's popping up for you. Make sure you always select yes. So it's always safe to have it saved too much than too little. Now, sorry, getting back to our linking. So we're going to link a task to a milestone, as we were going to say. So we're going to link the task to the milestone lab ready for installation. So this is our lab ready for installation. So for this, we're going to select inspect lab equipment. So task 6. So click into task 6, and then we're going to select the milestone. So again, press control on the keyboard. The milestone is task 9. Select the 2 of them, and then just click the little link icon. Perfect. And then you can follow along what I'm going to do next. So we're going to link the same with task 7 and 9. So we're going to update power, and then milestone lab ready installation. Click the link, and then we're going to link them to, again, we're going to link task 8 and then the milestone. So again, inspect radiation barriers, keep my finger on control, task 9, and link those as well. So you now see they're all kind of starting to link up here on our Gantt chart. So we're starting to get a lot more detail, and this is what we want. So this is how you actually would link tasks from start to finish. So this is the most common type of dependency. So now you can add additional sequences to the remaining tasks. So again, like we did previously, there's a Word document on Brightspace. So the Word document is called Sequences. So open up that Sequences, and that'll actually give you a list of little different tasks to link together. So go off and find that one, pause the video, work through those tasks, work those links in there, and then we'll meet back and we'll move on to the next bit. So just to show you, I'll just bring in the Word document here. It's just the Word document you have in Brightspace. So again, this gives another list of actual links you need to put in to create finish the start links. So again, task 4 and 11. So just work through these ones like we just doing the last few of them, and then I'll meet you back here in a few minutes. So pause the video, and then by the time you're done, press play and we'll continue on. Okay, so now I've just finished all linking, so you should have all these. The way you'll actually notice that your Gantt chart here now has all looking a bit more detailed and things are moving along, and using the predecessors you can see the list here. So you see the list of predecessors, so hopefully yours are looking the same. If you follow through the examples on the Word document, they should be looking like this. So have a quick pause the screen just to make sure everything is looking okay and matching yours. If not, then just double check. Just make sure that some of the examples said to go from example, like so one of us go from 11 through to 14, so we have to select 11, 12, 13 and 14 and link them, so that wasn't just, make sure you just not linking 11 and 14, make sure you get all of them. And there's same down here was from one of the ones down here to link a few of them together. So again, just make sure these are all correct and the way they are on my screen. And again, once we've got all this done, we're going to click on a little save icon to make sure nothing's happened, or we don't lose anything I should say. So click to save, do it 10 times to make yourself feel better, just in case, because again, we don't want to start all over again. Okay, so next thing we're going to add in duration. So as we said earlier on, the durations are, when you see a little question mark in the duration tab, that's basically Microsoft Project telling us we need to actually put in our own durations for these tasks, because it just takes an estimate of what I think it is, and it's usually 1 day, but obviously a lot of these things aren't going to take 1 day, some are going to take longer, maybe even some of them might take a bit less. So now we're going to actually start adding the durations. So we're going to click into task 2 duration. So this is task 2 duration is going to be set to 1 day. So it's by default set to 1 day with a question mark. So review design and then type in 1 day. So we're going to leave it at 1 day. We have to just type it in. So type in 1D, hit enter. And you see, once now we've actually inserted it ourselves, the question mark is gone because it knows that we've actually inserted that number. So it knows that that's actually the official day it's going to be. So the duration no longer has a question mark, as we have set the duration ourselves, exactly so. So again, set task 3 to 5 days. So just click in here. So you can either do ways, you can kind of use the up arrow here, or you can just type it in on the keyboard. And then once you've got the right number, just hit enter. And seeing the finish date for that task has now changed accordingly. Because now this is going to be 5 days, it's going to be, the project starts on the 12th, and then it's going to take 1 day. And then the purchase day MRI is going to be 5 days, so it's actually 5 days on again from the next day. So you can see, once we add in the duration, project will actually start automatically updating the whole thing. So you can see in our Gantt chart over here, that's our 5 days we just inserted there. So again, it's starting to come together again. So it's a slow process, but we'll get there. So we've set task 3 to 5 days. Okay, so we're going to set task 4 to 1 day. So again, just type in, so 1D. There we go. And task 6 and 7 are both going to be 1 day. So detailed inspection. So sorry, we're going to go inspect equipment. So this is going to be task 6 and 7 are going to be set to 1 day. So, and then my computer's going a little bit slow with all this stuff. So 1 day, yep. And then task 8 is going to be set to 2 days. So 2, hit enter. And then the milestone is obviously going to be set to 0 because it's only a milestone. So then again, you notice that the question mark has now gone to summary task as well. It's actually added them all up. So now we've actually added a few of those durations. So again, now if you go back to Brightspace, there's actually another Word document called duration. So it actually has durations for the rest of the tasks. So what you want to do is pause this video, go in, open that Word document, and then insert the durations as you see in that Word document, and then we'll come back here again and we'll continue. So pause now if you want. So just going back now, I've actually just added in all those durations myself. So again, if if you just followed what's in the Word document, it should look something like we have here. So maybe just pause the screen for a second, just make sure everything is looking okay. Just notice one little thing in my adjust equipment, I forgot to add it in, so I'm just going to click in here. Just, oops, didn't go in there, it's just type 1, I forgot to add in a question mark. Okay, so there we go. So we see how certification is going to take 15 days altogether. So hopefully yours looks something like this, and then you can see if you go along the Gantt chart, you can have a look, scroll across, that now actually all those durations have been added, and the thing is actually starting to look a little bit more like an actual project Gantt chart. So again, hopefully that worked out. So look at look at the information I have on screen, and hopefully yours looks the same. But if it doesn't look the same, maybe just go back and just try and get it right. Just make sure all the numbers are right. So if anything's gone wrong, maybe just miss putting in a number, or maybe just typed in the wrong number. So just hopefully yours looks exact same as mine. And then so that's the end of this video. So in the next one, we're going to be looking at the next topic, which is going to be, if let's check my notes, it's going to be assigning resources. So we have our durations, we have our tasks. Now we can actually assign some resources to all these different things, again, to add an extra layer of complexity and information to the whole project.